Good afternoon from the Second Age of Reason, coming at you from Lake Michigan, Wisconsin. It's the first day of spring, and it's about 80 degrees, which is unheard of usually for this time of year. So it's about 40 degrees above normal, and I'm just here to share with you a few things I've read recently from a Wired magazine. Maybe some of you have read it or heard of it. And they've talked about some government agency that's building a huge computer campus out in Utah. And the goal of it is to gather information. They want information. By hook or by crook, they'll get it. Now, they're building a computer that they say is huge. It's enormous. It sounds almost like they're building something as big as a shopping mall or a huge center out there that will have a massive computer in it collecting everything. The internet, the entire internet is going to suck it in and have a copy of it and then play with it and figure out stuff about you and me. And who knows? It just seems kind of funny because it seems to me to be physically impossible in some ways that they've said this thing. The article maybe is just meant to scare you. But here's what I mean by physically impossible. Here's a physical fact of the universe. From here to here. That is 1 nanosecond. That's how long light... That's how far light goes in 1 nanosecond, 1 billionth of a second. So you can't have a computer that's as big as a house and have it do billions and billions of things per second. It's simply, well, I can't do it coherently as a single processor. I mean, you could split it up into bricks that do 1 billion things each, and then the bricks could work together in some way. But as far as where the result of A is needed for B, and the result of B is needed for C, that's a serial connection of dependencies, and in that case there is no shortcut. So if you want to have a computer that they're talking about doing 2 trillion operations per second, 10 trillion operations per second, for 1 trillion operations per second, you have to take this distance and cut it by 1,000. So it becomes about 1/3 of a millimeter, or about 1/27th of a cubic millimeter. And if you run, say, 100 watts through that, it's not much of a computer anymore. It's more of a filament. So it doesn't seem real feasible to do that sort of thing. Now, if they are parallelizing, sure, they can get immense processing if they know how to break the problem up into the algorithm that way. And what do they need all this processing power for? Encryption and decryption. People now are using something called public key encryption, which is where you use a huge 1,000-byte prime number multiplied by another 1,000 and some byte prime number, and you get a code number key that will take trillions of years to decipher unless you have a decryption key. So they're hoping if they can just brute force it. Now that seems a little bit odd, because it seems to me that if you have the key and you have the decryption key, you can decode it anyway. So it's a matter of finding decryption keys. That's assuming that you know the process of how it works. But a lot of times when you need to decrypt things, you sometimes find a trick, something that works, even if it only works 10 or 20% of the time, a different approach at the problem, completely different. I think that's probably what they might be working on too. That way, instead of taking 1 trillion years to solve, you could figure it out in a month. Because you know something. That's, well, maybe it's a side effect. Mathematical side effect of sorts. But they want to decrypt everything. Now, then the question is, do they have the right? Do you want them decrypting everything? Some of it's probably pretty I don't know, menial, boring stuff. Some of it is accounting, it's money. Some of it is business, strategic planning. Who knows what it is, But there's a large amount of it, and they want to decrypt it all. Do you think they should? Do you think that's their responsibility? I don't know. It seems to me it's an awful long way to go when you have resources such as Stratfor or WikiLeaks, where it's just, here's 5 million documents. Have a look-see. Enjoy. But I digress. That would be too cheap. How else are they going to get billions and billions of dollars for something? I think people can even wrap their head around that number. Now, the other thing I was talking about. Oh, yes. The Internet kill switch. This is something the president has asked for, I think, or somebody's given to him, so that you could say, I don't like what's happening in America today. I'm going to just flip the switch and turn off the Internet. Yeah, right. Well, I've got news for you. There are side effects from that. Number one, while the Internet is used for entertainment for a lot of us, it's used for communication with emails and whatnot. It's used for learning. It's used for business. Corporations use it extensively. If you just turn that off and you cut off the commerce of the planet, there's consequences. I don't think the companies would like it. And here's the blowback part of it. You can switch off the Internet, and suddenly this huge data center that has the whole of the world's knowledge and information in it suddenly cut off. And every second they're cut off, we are diverging. We are suddenly, in a way, it's almost like being cut free. Anything you do after the Internet is turned off, they can no longer track, because they've cut themselves off as well. Just something to think about. So I thought I'd mention that in passing, and I'd like to solicit and see if anyone here has any ideas about that. You can rate and post your comments below. Video responses are welcome. And until later, we'll be seeing you. We want information. You can't have it. By hook or by crook, we will.